Taking a look at this graphic, Melchie Dumornay, her second career brace, got 90 minutes in, 2 goals, 7 shots, and 4 of those on target. A great night for her.
She was incredible from minute one. Honestly, her press, winning the ball back, and that finish. The first one was a gift, let's be honest, but the finish for the second, the one touch to set herself up, second, Van Domselaar was nowhere near it. For me, she was by far the best player on the pitch. What a night she had.
Yeah, I think making another case for herself why she should have been ahead in the Ballon d'Or. But I love this for her, starting off strong. Not only can she play up top, she plays in the middle of the pitch at that 10 position, sometimes when Lyon switches things around. And she deserves all of her flowers because I think she led this team when everyone was looking for someone to score or just put things into the attack.
Yeah, I agree. I think that her position, is she better as a 9? Is she better as a 10? I think tonight I was like, well, if you get a brace, I think 10's your spot moving forward.
She's everywhere. She was even dropping almost in front of the back 4 to pick up the ball and spraying passes out wide. And that's a top player, you know, when you can pretty much play anywhere in the park, whether it's number 9, in the 10 or in the 6. She's such a huge asset for Lyon.
Yeah, Lyon looked really good going forward as well. To keep the 2-1 win for the last 45 minutes was really good for them.
Yeah, I think that shows a lot of growth.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, last year this team, well, mind you, it was the first leg that they won and they lost the second leg, but I think showing that they can adapt even when they're ahead. They don't have to keep attacking. It showed really good tactical awareness for Lyon, dropping off. Joana Heraldez knows how to win this. You can be patient. You don't always have to attack. And I think the style of play that they have and the superstars that they have on this team all knew they had multiple leaders in every line on the pitch, and it was a joy to watch.
I thought the balance that they have in the midfield, we talk a lot about the best teams and the balance of wingers coming inside, forwards overlapping. The midfield, I thought, were absolutely brilliant, and even the players coming off the bench, Lily Louhanis, okay, maybe would have wanted more minutes. But I also thought what Lindsey was saying about the manager, one of the best managers she's ever worked in such a short space of time. I think we can all agree that's so impressive to say that after not many sessions, not many games, and that goes to show his quality, because you need that manager when you're dealing with that amount of talent and rotations and top international players that want to play every single minute. So I thought they were so impressive as a team. I thought their patterns of play were brilliant, and I thought they absolutely dominated midfield, and Lindsey Heaps was at the heart of it.
She absolutely was, but also Lindsey's a veteran, like a very decorated veteran. Like I remember going to junior or youth national team camps with her, and I thought, my God, that is a woman amongst girls, the way that she played. And I think we were 17, 18 years old. So she's been in this game a long time, and to still have influence from a new coach just a couple months in and say she's still learning and growing in her game is really fun to hear. And also the younger players around her, the Americans that we're saying that is a part of this midfield, it's so fun to watch them just grow under her. I think just being able to train with someone like her day in, day out, you're seeing a Corbin Schrader, a Lily Johannes really get the best out of these players because they get to watch it in training every day.
Yeah, it's extremely high praise for the new manager coming from Lindsey Heaps. And I think my initial thought from that is, oh my God, they have that kind of talent, and then you're going to combine that kind of coach coming, you know, him coming from Barcelona. He obviously had a short stint at Washington Spirit, but you bring him in and what this team can become because of who they have on the roster and what he's been able to do, even that short amount of time to have that kind of impact. That's insane. But, I mean, Lindsey, one of my favorite players to ever play with, so that was fun to get to interview her. I think that's the first time I got to do that.
No,
so
that was lovely.
cute.
It was nice, like, throwing it back. Also, welcome back, Jen. We weren't here. Sorry, you were on comms with Chris Whittingham. How was it? You done great.
Quick sprint. I've never ran so fast to get here quick enough after the show. But, no, I loved it. I think it was so fun being on the pre-show. And what a game. I think, you know, the intensity was there. I feel like I had to take quite a few breaths in the sort of opening 15, 20 minutes. I was trying to keep up with it, but that's what we love, these big head-to-heads early on in the tournament. That's why we're all tuned in and so excited for it to kick off. And it gave us, I think, everything we wanted out of that game. I think we saw the better team won, in my opinion. But no, I loved calling it.
What were your thoughts on Arsenal?
I thought they played into Lyon's hand, if I'm honest. I thought Lyon's pressure was incredible. Talking about a top manager, getting a team on board and organised. They looked like every single player on the pitch knew what they were doing in terms of the press. They knew they were trying to play it out Steph Catley's side and suck them in and keep them onto that side. For me, Arsenal just kept playing into that. They kept trying to play through their midfield, and I think they could have gone long, created space a little bit more, brought Blackstenius into the game a little bit earlier, in my opinion, to be honest.
I agree.
Allowed to stretch it. So for me, they got caught playing out the back multiple times, and you can't do that in European football against the top sides, especially when you've got Dumornay, one of the best pressers in the game, ready to hunt and ready to be on the front foot. And Arsenal just kept playing into it.
Was it the first or second goal for Lyon where we saw Arsenal play out the back and then they got the goal?
First goal. I mean, both were kind of playing out at the back.
Yeah, first was definitely a mistake, right? It was a mishit by the keeper, but second goal was similar in that she played right into their midfield. Lindsey Heaps was able to jump on that, read it so well, gets the ball forward, and then it's, good night for Arsenal.
I would argue that that's a mistake that Arsenal made last season as well.
I agree.
In this
it looked like the
competition.
same team.
Yeah, and look, you don't we spoke about it, you don't have the head-to-heads home and away in this phase. You play a team once and you either get it right or you don't. And I think Arsenal came back from Real Madrid. They came back from Lyon. This was the exact same scoreline, if I'm right, at the Emirates, and then they went and won 4-1 away, if I'm correct. But they don't have that opportunity. And for me, you're not going to have that time to turn it around. And they kept playing, and they weren't adaptable. And they've made a couple of mistakes like that in the WSL, brought it into the European game in this championship, and it's just a really difficult place to be in if you keep playing the same way.
Do you think that they got the lineup right? Because they made multiple changes from what they...
I liked their front line, if I'm honest. I liked the rotations of having Chloe Kelley and Bethany come on the inside, but they missed Olivia Smith massively.
100%.
Her
they missed a lot of flair.
Physicality as well for me. She was drawing fouls. I think they could have had a lot more runs in behind and creating that more space for Manham and Caldente to get on the ball. But for me, I think they missed, to answer your question, Olivia Smith in the lineup for me was a big miss. And she impacted it straight away when she came off the bench.
Like Jen, what Emily said, there is a pressure going on their backs going into this tournament, isn't there, just from last year?
I mean, yeah, but that's what success comes with, right? You made a great point.
Baby.
You made a great point before the show. It's the hardest thing to win this kind of competition. It's even harder to do it again. And look, listening to Emily Fox speak there, she seems so deflated. And I think that's the hardest point. They've come off the back of 2 draws and 2 losses back-to-back. That is not the norm for an Arsenal locker room. So it's going to be difficult, this next little spell, but they have to bounce back from it and have to remember that you played up against a team that got knocked out in the semi-final by you. They were coming for you, and that's all. They've come up against a really top side, and this is where you need leaders. We spoke about it again earlier in the show. Kim Little, Leah Williamson, even if she's injured, she's still going to be arm around you, solving solutions, and they're the kind of people you need.
Yeah, I mean, I talked earlier in the show that they're going to have some material to look back on. Just watching film from this match, the mistakes that they made. You're right. I think they handed Lyon the match.
I think they played into it much more than what they're used to. And I think you can do that in the WSL. You can do that. And teams against you might not be as clinical. You might be able to make a couple of mistakes, but you can get away with it. You can't do that in the Champions League. That's why we all love it. It's the best teams involved and you're coming up against the best opponents.
Yeah, and you can't do that against teams like Lyon, who are favourites to win this competition.